Hi, people. Just trying this thing to see what happens. I might take it down and make a best of it if it turns out good. I might not use it at all. Before on this, I'll wait until I have some people watching. I might have some people watching. There's no point seeing this. Hello, viewers. Tonight I'm live. I'm here to talk to you about a few things. Just to clarify. In the past, I have made a few critical videos, such as how to do a typology cult, critical to wording. Close. Yeah, this thing, I might take it down afterwards. I might do a best of. If you have questions, ask me about stuff. Joey Joe Shabadoo, that's close to correct. I'll type it out for you if it's of interest. That's how you spell my name. Yeah. I've made a bunch of critical videos, such as how to start a typology cult, criticization of the word usage of objective in terms of typology. A lot of people seem to, through the period of time, assume the video was directed at a YouTuber in particular. And I'm now talking about the how to start a typology cult. That video went from idea to upload in 40 minutes, and I was not directing it at anyone in particular, believe it or not. I was actually inspired by several communities because I don't know if I'm not the only one who have noticed, but the typology cultist community does have similarities to closed belief systems where people are in the know or not in the know, or there is a great leader who holds all the truths, and everybody who's not following the right leader don't know what they're talking about, and things like that. I think I will make a separate video on that at some point. But truth is, there is no one guru who is more right than others. I'm not saying that just because more than one can be right or there is more than one to learn from, that they're all right. That's obviously not true. But there's so much people can criticize that things aren't always what they look like. And sometimes people have good intentions, but in the groups of people they affect, the outcome might always not be in proportion to the intention. Yeah, all together make up the right thing. Yeah. For some reason, when I try to do this and I have pressure to speak, it doesn't flow as fluently. But yeah, I don't remember what I had it, but someone said anyone who doesn't want you to think for yourself is not your friend. And I think that's a rule to live by when it comes to this kind of knowledge. Because who is more objective than anyone else? People are highly subjective. And regardless of what type you consider yourself to be, we're subjective, we are reactive, we can be influenced. We will like some people and not like other people. Does it mean that we should listen to the people we like? Sure, we want to listen to the people we like, but are they more objective or right? Those aren't causal necessarily. So yeah. I'll probably take this down and cut it into pieces that might be worth something. Yeah, somebody say something. Give me. What do you want me to talk about? I'll talk about anything right now, unless I don't know. Yeah, I met Joey Joe Shabadoo in California this summer. That was fun. She's fun. She's interesting. And she brought nice pastries for us over at Eric's house. It was like we got up and we had some very plain bagels. And after we ate that plain boring stuff, Joey Joe comes over with this box with, I don't even know what it's called. It was very nice. Why do you think that is, Joey Joe? Well, I think most people can be frequently incorrect. Yeah, they were. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I spent all the stuff I wanted to talk about. And now I'm just sitting here like an idiot. And that's great too, I guess. Trying this format. Would Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know. Like a lot of people seem to need that emotional element to believe someone. Oh, I'm sure a lot of people are drawn to you. Hi, Ande. Yeah, I guess I can just start repeating myself as more people show up. If if I remember what I said. Oh yeah, I was talking about and thinking about before coming on here, similarities between. Yeah, I'll get back to the beginning. On this channel, I have made a video called "How to Start a Typology Cult." I actually intended that to be a funny video, and I was inspired by several groups based on my own subjective experience going into different typology communities, where you can see that a lot of people actually don't stay in for very long. Most people just come in, check it out, they have their people in their life do the 16 personalities.com thing, and then they get bored with it, or they don't see the point, or they don't want to spend enough time to get much understanding from it. And a lot of people try to say, these people are right, that person is right, that person has all the answers. But I think in reality, no one person has the right answer. What do you mean by ignorance is a big reason, Andy? Do you mean that people are drawn to gurus because they have ignorance? Yeah, that's another thing. Like there are a bunch of different interpretations out there, and I think for the most part, most of them are just different angles attacking the same thing, and that's something I'm perfectly fine with. Like we don't need to have word by word the same understanding. Jung didn't know everything. He was talking about his observations. He didn't create 16 types. Other people did that after him with basis in his observations. Yeah, that's a good point. I think people do go into it for different reasons. Personally, I think it's most useful if you're using it to broaden your own horizons, because by default, most people get into this world We live in our own heads. We live on our own understanding. We see things the way we do. We judge the things we do, and we assume everybody else are just like us because we are all unique, just like everybody else. But as we can see from type systems and that kind of thing, people are way more different than I think most people could ever imagine just from their own understanding, because people have different ways of understanding things. Yeah, Jung was on a journey, and he also did a lot of other stuff. It wasn't like his types was the only thing he did. I'm not familiar with the tarot community, but I guess that's they're just out of my ass. I'm gonna guess it's because of archetypes. And yeah, it is pretty entertaining, but that's like even further away from science. Yeah, objectivity in typing. How can we be objective? I don't know. Some people claim they can be. I don't know, because we are awfully subjective people. How do you objectively evaluate something subjective? Am I objective? Can I be objectively assessed by anyone? Okay. I guess you can dissect me and measure my parts, but at that point, my personality no longer exists. Yeah, I don't know about astrology. I think it's interesting. Like, I'm not gonna pretend to be this super objective thing that only deals with real world stuff, because I don't know. It's just like thought experiments, and even if it's just placebo, I don't know. That stuff also mostly tells you either something positive is coming or to look out for something negative. Either way, the message is positive. AI will be so super subjective. Well, we're not there yet. At this point, we don't know how to tell a machine to do anything else but what we tell it to do. Mirande. That must be her. I love my new condo. Thank you for giving me something to talk about. Uh, I'm. I don't know. It's nice. It's messy. It has boxes still, but I can show you a little bit. Here is where I will have my rig with 2 screens and all the good stuff. These things, they are actually made out of leather. I got them in Bulgaria 10 years ago. They are handmade, so those are pretty cool. And there's my kitchen, which is kind of messy. And this lamp was assembled the other day. And for now, that shelf is like a mix of decorative items and mess. And those ribbons are from Ketchos. Speaking of which, here's a floof. Hey, Cookie. Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on. So Thumbs up for calm nothingness. Yay! If that works for me, I could do it all the time. I could just sit here and be chill and calm and stuff. So, good morning, Europe. Good night, America. Nothingness. The nihilism stream. Everything is pointless. Socionics and Myers-Briggs. Enneagram is interesting, but Enneagram is interesting. It does talk about motivations and can be useful for people and describe stuff. But I think that's very difficult to say that it's very exact or objective or whatever. If I said I didn't have an interest, I would be lying. I do identify with a type, which happens to be 2-wing-1. But I don't see myself as very likely to be the one spreading it, because that's kind of even more that's more in the esoteric subjective realm. Yeah, like Anthony says, you kind of have to see them, and if you start reading about them, you can see underlying patterns, but not really people, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I think there are more twos out there than people realize. I was mistyped myself for like 2 years. I thought I was a 5, and I think that's very common for introverted thinking types to assume they are 5s, but there's so many other things they can be, for example, 9. But yeah, socionics, enneagram, all that stuff. Within socionics, you have different models, and I think you can draw good information from most of it. I think people are, not everyone, but I think some people are very quick to judge MBTI negatively. I see it more as a different angle of attacking the same thing. For example, I did read Gifts Differing. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's a good introduction to explaining what type is about, personally. Even if it's kind of simple, but even within MBTI, there are people with different opinions and takes on that. So if you read one book on the subject, you won't see full agreement between anyone. And even in socionics, I've been familiar with mostly Model A, a little bit of Model G, and I got a book on Model J, which is the model from before Model A, which Model A is built upon. So it's very, very, very basic, but for reading something, it's actually kind of useful reading something like that, because it brings it down to a very simple level where you can see where it comes from. And more technical. Yeah, Anthony. But it is very difficult because I'm back to Enneagram based on the discussion in chat. Certain qualities are attributed to types where it can get very confusing because people are not just one thing. For example, I'm a 2. I might not be the most intellectual person, but 2s are often talked about as anti-intellectual. I won't say that I'm that, but I'm also 5 fixed, as they say. Yeah, 4 and 5. A lot of people think they are 4 and 5s, but most people are not. Once you dive deeper into looking at what that actually means. Walter Wiseman says, gifts differing, I should have better bought as opposed to 8 keys to self-leadership. The latter is boring. About the first, I heard a lot of good stuff. I have that one too. The 8 keys to self-leadership, but I haven't read it yet, but I will eventually. But those are kind of not the same kinds of book, really, Walter Wiseman. Gifts differing is very simple, and it also has, if you like stories and anecdotes that give examples of differences between, for example, sensing and intuition types, it gives stories that are interesting, that kind of illustrate some points. Okay, so Walter Wiseman, is that sauce? Or are you someone else? Or is it a secret that you won't say on YouTube? Or maybe I'm wrong. You are not sauce. Okay, sorry. You're from Germany, okay. Are you an ENFP? INFP, okay. My bad. Yeah. Hello, Winston's mom. I really wish the text would be bigger on this thing. You're an INFP too in what's it called? Cognitive type. Now, Anthony in MBTI and Socionics is probably anti-IDOM, INTP. Yeah, see, all the introverts are like hanging out in chat, and I'm just sitting here with my face on blast, talking to people, running out of content, already gone over my content twice. But I guess I'm using this thing what it's intended for, like connecting to the audience. Yeah, you're right. Maybe what if I do this? Oh, that didn't work. Oh shit! I fixed it. Thank you. No, I don't see it at all. What an introvert party! I'll tell you what an introvert party is. An introvert party is a room with people in it, and nobody's talking. That's an introvert party. Be my fun third wheel. Well, if Abraham is coming here for a week, do you want to be a third wheel for a week just to make sure nothing fun happens? Yeah, we're talking if we have something in common that we want to nerd out on. I know you won't do that, Anthony. Abraham lives in America. He lives in California. And he's right now working his ass off 7 days a week to save money to go to Norway. So I have an ESFJ. He's coming over here. Maybe it was a little clickbaity. No, he's not dead, but we won't see each other for a long ass time. And prior to that, I've been busy with school, he has been busy with work, and it had been a year where we didn't see each other physically. I know that must seem very absurd to a lot of people, but I guess that's my life. Yeah, He's moving over here within. Yeah, it's uh, going into details. It's pretty horrible, like strict immigration. Um, but if everything works out, he'll move here the coming summer. Oh, I'm not familiar with that person. There are so many channels now, and there aren't that many I keep up with. I can now see. Do you guys have any questions and thoughts you want to have me try say something about? Oh, I've been live for 26 minutes. I'm so impressed with myself, and I've been able to talk most of the time. I'm a Libra. Talking about Libra, see, I'm not that much into astrology. Why do you want to be TE polar and okay, what is it INFJs have that you don't that you actually want? Yeah, I'm sure it's interesting, but I think I have enough with personality theory. I have a difficult time seeing um, how I will get much from astrology. Like, I can read about it sometimes because people are talking about it, and ego, the superego, and the id. It's been a long time since I read about that, and I don't think it really matters that much. Okay, so because they use a large vocabulary, people think they are insightful. No, you don't, Anthony. You don't look like a narcissistic nerd. And yeah, maybe they have insights you don't see the same way, but I don't know how much that actually matters. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another problem in the type community that I will probably make a video about at some point. Oh my god, poor me. I'm this type. I'm an introvert. It's so sorry for me. I can't do anything because I'm an introvert. Yeah, I'm back to what I said earlier. There's so much you can complain about. Um, sure, yeah, if you want, Anthony, that could be fun. Are you down to up the snarkiness, up the sarcasm to max? That could be fun. Oh, we could ask Spacey too, because I think that could be fun. 3 INTPs hating on introverts, feeling sorry for themselves on YouTube. Oh, that would be so horrible and great and bad. Are you starting your own channel, Anthony? Or are you doing it with those people? Yeah, but you know, Anthony, it's okay to be a little bit of a hypocrite sometimes. See, it's one thing when you complain a little bit to your friends on an everyday basis because you're having a bad day, but it's different when you choose a type, or more specifically your own type, and you just talk shit about your own type because you feel bad that day, or you have a bad life for whatever reason. But that's not really a type thing, that's a you thing. Two-faced. I don't think you're two-faced if you just bitch and whine a little bit. Like, seriously, who doesn't do that? Are you a positive person all the time, every day, and always satisfied about yourself? I think you call that a narcissist because there's nothing wrong with you. You have a personality disorder. That came out wrong too, I guess. I hope you get the point. Yes. Oh, you can do that. Like, are you gonna do like the whole circle around? Yeah, inability to admit faults. And again, I'm saying stuff on YouTube without saying anything about anyone in particular. I was just talking about people who bitch and whine, like we all do sometimes, and that's okay. But that's not because you are a certain type. Uh, like, oh my god, I'm SE polar. I can't do anything. I'm not the first forceful person. Time to dig a hole and go die in it. Kind of exaggerating. But what's the most common stereotype you guys have seen? If you think about introverts or types complaining in general about their type, what's the thing you guys have seen been complained about the most, if you can think of anything? Okay. Maybe you are. Well, good for you, Anthony. Good for you. That means you're gonna achieve something, maybe. FI polar. You know what? FI polar is an interesting one. I know several FI polar individuals, but I think normally they don't complain that much. You don't see ESTPs complain like that, do you? I think it's more fair to say that there is an unawareness, and it's not an FE thing; it's an FI thing, which is the like the video I did 2 days ago with Spacey. FI, the ethics of relations, internal systems of how people work. They are FE users. They can see people be sad on their face. If they have social retardation beyond that, that's a separate thing. But of course, it's not like they're FE downs either. ENTP YouTubers? Probably. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're dissatisfied with your life. You should do the thing that works for me when I'm dissatisfied with your life. Well, you know what? Going outside is underrated. See, that's another thing with type. It's important to separate between type things and people things. It's not anyone, like, for no one can be a full and happy person sitting inside alone all day, every day. Going out of the house is good for you, maybe especially introverts. Maybe, well, but going outside of the house doesn't mean go to a boring concert you have no interest in and see a lot of people you don't even like. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leaving your house, doing something else, get out of your headspace, and okay, not do, but think about something else. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing we see, that people are mixing human things with type things. A lot people have more similarities than they have differences, in my subjective opinion. Get more exercise. You know what? You don't need to exercise that much. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's not that much. I saw a doctor on TV some years ago. You know, a lot of people say, go out running, go exercise. But he said, if you jog every day, it will probably not make you live any longer than the time you spent jogging. But so if you do that, you should probably at least like jogging. If not, it didn't make any difference. But 20 minutes a day activity? Yeah, that comforting thought. See, now you're reminding me of stuff. That's good. I don't know if anyone has watched this from the beginning. But there is comfort in similarities, and that's why people get stuck on type and stuff because they look for people like them. Welcome to the type community. Here we have all the intuitives, because apparently those communities are filled with intuitives. Yeah. And people would rather, well, it looks like to me that people are more interested in staying in their little online intuitive clique in a Facebook group where they find community and people like them than continuing their own information gathering self growth journey. Yeah. As I talked about at the beginning of this, I was going back to mentioning the video I made quite a while ago, how to start a typology cult, which again was not directed at one community in particular. It was inspired by several different groups and experiences, and it went from idea to upload in 40 minutes. And that's because I see patterns in there where people just look for answers. Like they have a lot of things in common with cults because um, if you have been in communities for a while, you start to notice patterns that there are quite a few people who come to it in a transitional period in their life where they are looking for answers, and they see type as a tool for finding answers. And from there on, they find people like them or people they perceive to be like them. They find people they like to listen to. And then they are told, you're in the right circle. These are the people who are right. We are right. They are wrong. I'll return to something else I said earlier. Anyone who doesn't invite you to think for yourself is not your friend. And no one person sits with all the answers. So there is a lot to be had from type, but there are also some traps. And it has some similarities to cult stuff. Now I said that like 4 times in this thing because that's where it started. Yeah, avoiding inherent ontological assault. What you said earlier, Anthony. See, that's why I'm kind of. I don't think I should be talking about Enneagram because I think that's even more magic than MBTI, socionics, etc. Because it digs deeper into who you are, not just how you think. Oh, so Shabadu is a thing. Shabadu shabu shabu. It's all magic, Anthony. If you consider words to be magic, because words have influence on people, Enneagram is for sure stronger magic than personality theory otherwise. Yeah, but you see, I don't think Alan Moore is the only person. Well, maybe it originated from him, but somehow I know I was exposed to it at a young age. This about words and magic and stuff. It might come from him, but that's so important to think about. Words are magic, and the magic you expose yourself to comes from everywhere. So that's why you need to be aware of what you take in and how you relate to it. Do you know who? Yes, probably some ancient Greek or something who said it first. Your mental health thermometer. Yeah, good at working magic on others, but not myself. Kangaroo jokes. Okay, suggestions for a new topic. Does anyone have any? If not, I can just sit here and watch you guys discuss. That's okay too. I can show you my floof again. Look, I'm a sensing type. I'm showing you something in the real world. It's alive and fluffy. See, I think I should take the. See, I'm gonna take this down afterwards, and I'm gonna edit it and pick out the parts that are good. Or maybe I should leave it up just to see if anyone will make a compilation about why the introverted thinker is an ISFP. Because that's the weapon of the type community. I don't like what you say, so I'm gonna tell you you're something else. Yeah, that's a female. Right now I'm in a city. That's Cookie. And I have another one here. There's my old lady. Janice. Oh yeah, that sofa. I got that for free. For those of you who don't know, I've been living here for like 2 weeks now. Yeah. Oh, she's not even the biggest one. I'll find the big one soon. But yeah, I was saying I got that sofa for free, and it looked perfectly fine. And then I went over it with one of those carpet cleaner things that like squirts out cleaning stuff and sucks it up. And I shit you not, the water came out black, and it had like some tarry clay-like substance at the bottom of the container when I emptied it. It was so nasty. But it's clean now, and it was free. It costs money furnishing a whole place, I realized. Yeah, I'm very happy I got this place. This place is 5 minutes away from all the city center restaurants. Okay, this is a very small town. I think there's like 27,000 people living here, so it's small. And I'm living near everything. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the fat one. I'll show you the fat one. And the fat one isn't me in this case. Hopefully. Don't call me fat, okay? All right. Here comes the floof. No, I don't work. I don't. I feed him cat food. He's heavy. The big one, I bred myself. Oh, I bred Cookie too. Yeah, that's something I haven't talked about on here. I breed cats as a hobby. I go out to eat Chinese food. Smoreboard? No, it's the breed. They are floofy. Ugh, Chinese food. I don't know if I should talk about it, but I'm not sure I want to tell people where I live. It's near. It's on one side or the other of this city. Huda. I registered my cattery in 2010. I got my first breeding cat 10 years ago. I registered cattery 9 years ago, and since then I've been done it like on and off. At this point, I've had a lot of stuff happen in my life the past few years, so I haven't had a litter in a few years. Yeah, I don't think I'm not paranoid. It's just this city is so small and I live at the center of it, so I'm not the person that it's hard to find. Like if someone decides to find me, they will. People don't even have to dig that deep. I'm not saying this to encourage people to find me. I just know it's not that hard to find me. But yeah, I'm probably boring you guys at this point. Oh wait, we're talking about the weather. It's windy, it's raining, it's by the coast, it's cold. At the coldest, it gets like minus 20 Celsius or minus 4 Fahrenheit. Cold as fuck. It's fuck it. It's on the Arctic Circle. The only what do you mean, Jojo? Um, I have family members living nearby, so if I went quiet for a week, someone would look for me. Brittany, I don't think Brittany would actually go over to Europe and hunt me down. But the whole Brittany thing, she must have been invited at some point initially, and then it just kind of escalated. I don't really want to say anything negative about that person. I think she was just going through a chaotic time in her life at that point. Oh, in Iceland, they have an app to if you start dating someone in Iceland, they have an app where you can check if you are related. they have a population of like 300,000 people, I think. And if you meet someone, you first check if you are related before you start breeding to avoid inbreeding. Yeah, I want to go to Iceland too. It's interesting that you guys know about Icelandic music. I don't think I know about anything but Björk, and she hasn't been popular in like 20 years. Yeah, Winston's mom, I don't know what happened to her. I think she had a boyfriend. You're probably right, Andy. She's probably an NI dom based on my subjective memory. Yeah, like they have the hot springs and they have an interesting place, interesting area with they eat sheep testicles on Iceland. So if you want to eat some balls, you can actually buy that. Not that I would, but it's an option. Yeah, what does that mean? Oh yeah, is it just nines like other nines? Maybe a dumb question, but does nines like other nines? And right after I said that, I thought maybe that was like a dumb question. Said it wasn't delicious. Oh, they make that in Norway where they cut the sheep's head in half, so you have like the face side, and they dry and smoke it, and then they water it and steam it and eat the face. People say it's good. I've never tried it. See, at this point, I'm not really talking about anything, but if you guys want, you could come here and talk to me directly if you would like. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching here. If you would like to come and talk to me directly, click that link, and I'll see if any of you drop in there. Thank you so much for watching for this round. See you guys.